Hello, listeners. Welcome to Business by the Bay, where we talk to successful business leaders, where they discuss various challenges businesses face and how to solve some of those challenges. Today, I'm extremely excited to be in studio with Emily Sai, who's a CPA, and she brings over 14 years of deep tax expertise to the table. After rising through the ranks to become a senior manager at a top 10 national firm, Emily noticed a major gap in the market. Big firms only focus on the largest clients, while many small firms focus solely on data entry. So, to bridge the gap, she founded Meridian Tax Advisors, where she brings high-level strategy and sophisticated tax solutions to help clients truly preserve their wealth. Good afternoon, Emily. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you, Ajay, for having me on the show.
So, Emily, why don't we start? Just now, as I mentioned, that you have done quite a bit of work with big firms and now you have started your own. So it will be nice to go through a little bit of your journey. What made you decide ultimately form Meridian Tax Advisors? If you can go through your journey, that will be good for our listeners to understand where you come from.
Yeah, that'll be great. I came from Taiwan. I got to the United States in 2009, finished my master in accounting in Michigan, and I just moved out to California as soon as possible because the weather is the best, and then you got best food here. I live in Benicia now with my husband, and I have 3 pets. After working in a large firm for many, many years, I handle the most complex return in the country. I realized that the large firms, they continue to increase the pricing and only focus on their big clients. And the small firms, they are doing data entries, not really paying attention to the tax planning for the clients. I saw there's a major gap in the market. Plus, according to studies, 75% of the CPA is going to retire in the next 10 to 15 years. We don't have enough accounting students coming into the market. So there's a serious pipeline shortage. We need more young professionals to start their own firms to fill in the gap. As the PE firm keep buying the markets, buying CPA firms, they just continue to jack out the price. And many people in the middle market, they don't get really good service, let alone good planning.
Very true. Because I guess the small businesses are like small enough in the sense that there may be not as much revenue, obviously, as from a big company. And also, at times, the small businesses, they just don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
So they don't even ask some of those questions. They just rely on whatever will be done. And if it's just data entry, it is, because they don't know anything better.
Exactly. That's why I founded Meridian, to provide really high-touch personal experience so it could be customized to each client instead of just fitting into a mold. I focus on individual returns, business returns, and trust returns. So it's a broad spectrum.
Right. So in your experience, when clients come, I guess they can come from different capacity. For example, if someone is starting a business and they say, okay, hey, I need a CPA who can file my business return, that could be as simple as a trigger point. But also, I guess, they would come to a person like you when they are facing some of the issues.
Right.
And what are some of the typical issues they run into? Because especially with individual, if it's a very simple return, just one W-2, people may just use something like TurboTax and file that because there's nothing else going on.
That's perfectly fine.
Right? But when it comes to businesses especially, they may go through some issues or challenges. What are those when they try to come and talk to someone like you?
Good questions. When they come to me, usually when they have a large transaction, like selling a house, selling a rental, or they're just not happy with their current CPA because they feel they outgrow their current CPA and the situation gets more complex. And plus, as you said before, you don't know what you don't know. I have one client came to me. She was with prior CPA for 10 years, running as a C corporation. But everyone knows that being as a corporation is so much more tax efficient. Her revenue is really good. It's $500,000 net profit. But she's been paying out all the profit as salaries, which is not efficient at all because I did the math. She could have saved $26,000 every year on top of the take-home pay because being an S corporation, you can just take reasonable compensation and you take the profit sharing that's free of Social Security and Medicare tax. A lot of people don't know and they just stick with one CPA without having a second look by others. You just go on autopilot and really missing out the tax planning opportunity.
Right. So true. And the other part of puzzle is that at times, even if a business owner feels, hey, maybe I can do something better, right? And maybe there is better advice out there.
Right.
How do you find the right one?
Exactly. It's just like doctor-patient relationship. You want to find a really good one that you can work with for a long time. You don't want to change doctors every year because now they don't know about your history. They can't customize the plan that really fits to you. Yeah, so you want to, at the beginning of your search, you want to talk to many professionals as you can and just find a good personal fit and see how they plan things. You can ask them questions. They will not give you tax advice at a discovery call, but you can ask their questions, see how the procedure goes, what's the support, and what is their response rate. Because I heard so many people that, they email the CPA, but they don't hear back for weeks. And sometimes when you make financial decisions, you really are on a really short crunch.
Right.
You have to get a response right away. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be as simple as a person is trying to buy real estate and it could be, okay, I buy cash, I take loan, or I use my IRA account.
Exactly.
And should it be traditional? Should it be Roth? There can be so many questions. And if you are in a process of closing or going through that real estate transaction, you better make that decision before rather than afterwards when, I did it, now I have to do more things to make it more tax efficient. But if it's planned, then I guess there is a better probability of doing things right the very first time.
Exactly, because you want to involve your CPA in the early stage. For example, if you take out IRA, there might be tax consequences. If you take out a loan, can you deduct the interest expense? How much can you deduct? You can run all those into the tax projection scenario to figure out the best practice.
Right.
And I also heard that one of my other clients, because AI is so big right now, I use AI every day. I look at things, and it's really good for introductory stuff, just to get a basic concept. But one of my clients did his amended tax return with ChatGPT.
Oh, no.
It took him a week, line by line, to make sure everything he did correctly. It's so long. And then he got a bill from IRS for $20,000. He doesn't know what to do. Now he has to save up, driving Ubers to really make the money. And I review his tax return and found out the ChatGPT doubled up his income. He didn't have that. He did not have to pay for that.
Right.
Yeah. So I filed the 4th amended return for him and made the notice go away.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. But it's crazy that, I don't know about the future, but at least for now, it feels when it comes to complex, especially financial decisions, you can't make it based on just feeding data somewhere and then hoping that it will spit out the correct.
Exactly. You can't afford to make mistakes on tax returns.
Tax returns, yeah.
That's really expensive mistake.
Expensive. And also, if someone is from that field, financial industry, may have a better idea, then can be a little bit efficient. But people who are especially not from the financial industry or from the accounting industry, it's even harder because you just don't have the skill.
Right. You just have to have a professional to review it and make sure everything's done right, so you don't end up making a bigger mistake that costs way more than what you paid for before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Emily, in terms of your services, what are some of the things that your clients feel that you really make a difference? or what are, in other words, what they like about you, some of the things that they like really most about you?
Oh, thank you for asking that. My clients love me because I'm always very responsive and I stay on top of the tax laws because, tax law changes every year. You really have to keep up to provide client the best solutions. And also the pricing transparency. When I onboard clients, I will do a 30 minutes discovery call with them to really understand what their situations are and how I can help them to make sure we're a good fit for each other because we're really looking for a long-term relationship, not just transactional. Tax return is more than a commodity. It's really finding a professional to help you in the long term so you can bounce ideas off. And when I onboard them and then look at their tax returns, I give them a quote or a range. Most of CPAs charge by hours, and clients don't like that because that doesn't align clients' goal with CPA service because the more hours you spend, the more you can charge, right? Of course, we're a good industry, but clients don't like the surprise of April big bill. And I have people that told me before, they're always afraid to get a tax bill from the CPA because they don't know how much it's going to be this year. So when I call client, I give them a quote. If things get complex, we'll discuss first so they don't get a sticker shot. For business clients, we have monthly subscription plan. So it's really good for the cash flow planning.
Right. And I guess the other part is making them understand the value that they are getting. That's the other piece because with quite a few professions, people say that, okay, hey, I found ABC who is really cost effective, right? Or who's really a lot cheaper than the market rate. But the question is, in certain scenarios, the way I see it, it's just not like how much you paid, but what is the value you are getting out of it. As an example, if someone is in trouble for anything, like has done nothing wrong, but say a lawsuit is filed against, and the person has to go to a litigator. And if someone is trying to get the cheapest in the market and then lose the case, what is the cost of that? And similarly, I guess in the accounting industry, if let's say one professional is charging $2,000 and one is charging $1,000, but the one that is charging $2,000 is making, a savings of $50,000 a year more than the one that is charging $1,000, then who's actually cheaper?
Exactly. That's the long-term effect, right? Once you have a really effective tax strategy for the client, it's going to be 2, 3, 4 years down the road. It's not just the year one service fee you pay for.
Yeah. So I guess it's something that one should evaluate. First of all, okay, as you rightly mentioned, whom I can connect or I can work with after talking to a few professionals. And then afterwards, it's the case of how I'm working in an efficient manner where I'm getting the value out of it.
Right.
So it can be tax savings, it can be some other strategies. And also what I feel when I work with some of the accounting people, they are in a perfect position to know what is going on.
Yeah.
Because the way I see it, and you made a very good point by bringing in doctor and patient relationship. So I guess the accounting people, they are looking at the financial health of the business because you get a great picture of it because you go through all the numbers.
Right.
So you know the financial health of a business. So in that regard, I guess a good CPA, good accounting firm can also help looking at some of the areas where somebody is struggling you can connect them with the right people.
Yeah, a lot of time business owners will come to me because the wife did a book or the admin person did a book,
yeah.
And it's kind of a mess. And when I review it, I don't do bookkeeping, but when I spot the issues, like they have a lot of random items on balance sheet, I know they need a professional bookkeeper help.
Yeah.
Or if the business continue to grow and then they are facing scaling problems, they may need a business coach. or the owner needs a insurance person
Right.
that can help them with the life insurance and term insurance.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many things. For example, if even the sales were fine last year, but it's not as good this year, is it just the market? Or it could be a business coach thing. It could be, do they have the right sales team or a marketing team?
Right.
So there can be so many areas where you can identify that there is a struggle going on. And then as you work with so many businesses and you know those businesses, you're in the right position, or an accounting person is in the right position as such to really make those connections. But then you need a personality for that. As you mentioned earlier, if an accounting person is just in the data entry mode, okay, my part is done. I got these numbers. This is the input I got. And okay, let me create an output and I'm done.
Yeah, that doesn't bring any value to the client because you're treating the tax return as a commodity. It's a one-time transaction. Your CPA should really be your quarterback to ensure your financial well-being align with your long-term financial goals. Just like, if I see a S corporation shareholder hasn't issued any payroll to himself for a long time and they're making really good money, that could be a huge audit flag. And I can call Ajay for the payroll service.
Yeah. So it's when it comes to different types of entities, right? You also look into it, as you mentioned, the corporation, the taxes, all those kind of things. So if a business started off as a sole proprietor, or okay, I just started my business now,
Right.
and then as the business grows in terms of the liability and also which entity is more tax efficient. So you see those kind of aspects also to make them more efficient.
Yes, exactly. So when they are small, they maybe have a Schedule C, but as their business scale, they may need an S corporation or an LLC to really help them protect their liabilities and have a formation to start doing more tax plannings. Like they can do if they have a lot of money on the account, they may want to start thinking about cash balance plans or defined benefit plans to defer those income. And that's very efficient. Once you start making good money, you want to preserve the wealth.
Right. So you help with those decisions also. What should be the structure of the business entity so that it's more tax efficient?
Right. I'll do analysis for them, just run the real numbers so they can see the facts.
And then do you also take clients who, say, whatever be the case, whether they were trying to do taxes on their own or they just didn't hire the right professional and made some mistakes, and then they got some dreaded IRS audit letters? So you look into those and try to help them?
Yeah, I saw many IRS audit cases with zero adjustment. And those returns I prepared in the past. If you have an IRS notice, you can come to me. I can review and see what we can do next. And maybe my IRS made a mistake because they really make up fictitious numbers to scare you. Because now you start paying attention with a large balance, right? When in the past, when they say you balances, you don't pay attention to it. Don't ignore any balances. Find a professional to help you and really review it. Maybe you don't owe that much.
Right. So it's kind of proper review can make the businesses compliant, and IRS can also make mistakes.
Yeah, it could save you a lot of money.
Yeah. Then moving on, in terms of, as you see the financial health of businesses, you must have formed the experience that you gain by looking at variety of businesses, right? So my first question, actually, before I ask what I was thinking of asking, do you have any special industries, or it doesn't matter? You take all kinds of businesses?
I mainly work with high net worth individual, small business, real estate, professional services, doctor, dental's office, law offices. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of the area, you basically you can take anybody in California, or
I can file up to 50 states.
Okay, in all the states.
All the states.
Okay, because the state regulations are different, right? Because California may have certain of their own schemes where you can basically using those tax codes, it could be beneficial, and those may not be available in other states or the vice versa, right?
Yes.
So the different state laws make a difference.
It does. It makes a huge difference. California, it's very stringent and they are very aggressive. And the top rates are almost 13%. Other states, I think California and New York has the highest rate.
Right. So as you see a lot of businesses in your day-to-day sort of work, of whether some are really successful and some are really kind of they can do better, some are struggling. So you see the whole range when it comes to your clients. So if someone can ask you that, okay, one or two things we should be really thinking about, or what can make our business successful, if someone comes for that kind of advice, generic advice, what would you say? What do you think should be the key things one should do or shouldn't do to be successful?
I would say I always get a copy of the tax return, the prior tax return, to understand their situation, because everyone could have different situation. And then I'll based on that to get them advice. And I would say get involved with a CPA in the early stage. That would be the best advice I can get, because you want somebody to be on your side and then hold your hand to go through all the difficult transactions or decisions, instead of come April 15. Now we're all historians. The best we can do is just to pick up all the deductions for you.
Right. Because you described it really well, historian, because if I come to you in March of this year, then the last year tax return, everything is done.
Right.
I mean, the year is done and dusted in that sense. Then it becomes more what you were saying. It's more of a data entry at that point of time, just accuracy, because it's not that we can go back and do things that whatever we did in 2025.
Yeah, with my clients, I check in with them every quarter. If they don't need, I can check in with them twice a year, mid-year and before year end, so we can really do some strategy before the year is over.
Exactly. And what I have seen, if I talk to some of the business owners out there, what they say, even you talk to them in November, oh, I'm not sure, I'm still uncertain, oh, this may happen, that may happen. So there are always variables. So it's good to have that regular touch or contact with the CPAs, because we can start based on what happened last year.
Right.
But this year would be different, and we just don't know. There can be few things that can be really good, and there can be few things that we expected, and they may not turn out that way.
Yeah, and you want to continue to evolve your tax planning with your financial goals. You want to make sure they align. And also working with CPA, financial advisor, and estate attorney all together to have them be your service team.
Right. Yeah. So it's a good teamwork when it comes to the financial health, because financial advisors are looking at always which area, based on the personal situation, what kind of investments and what kind of tax saving strategies can come up from the portfolio point of view. And then estate planning is required mainly for probate, or what is the logic there?
Oh, so I actually did my estate planning when I bought my house. So I would say that's a good point to get your initial estate planning, just to put house in the living trust. But I'm not an attorney. I'm not here to give legal advice. Yeah. But it's good to have the conversation early and find somebody that's good and that can really help you to establish the plan. And then you can run the scenario by your CPA and financial advisors to make sure the entire goal aligns with your goal.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing from you is that essentially planning is the key over here.
Yeah.
And it can never be too soon. So whenever we are starting our business from that day onwards, the message that I'm hearing from you is start early and don't be reactive, and work with the CPA who can constantly work based on the situation and can evolve and adapt in terms of the business environment.
Right. You want to always have a CPA behind your back and then help you through all the transactions.
Excellent. So, Emily, overall, do you want to share? You already mentioned one or two scenarios. We are coming towards the end of the show. Do you want to talk either about any situation, example, or summarize anything for our listeners?
Oh yeah, I have an announcement.
Mm-hmm.
I have a stock compensation seminar in
Okay.
Chinese coming out on February 21st.
Okay.
At East Coast is 6 o'clock and West Coast is 3 o'clock. I'll put a flyer on my LinkedIn profile.
Uh-huh.
But if you want to reach me, you can call me at 650-542-0973. You can call or text.
Okay. And this seminar, what is it about? What you will cover in this seminar?
I'm going to talk about the tax treatment for ISO, ENSO, ESPP, RSU, and RSA. Because a lot of people, they don't understand these stock compensations, and then they miss the best timing for the tax planning.
So these are all the different types of compensation typically
For tech employees.
Tech employees, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And some would be in public companies and some would be startups and all those kind of
Right.
things. And even if you are in a startup where the stocks and all are not publicly traded, so what happens with those? Are those taxed at that time when you receive, or no, until it goes public?
It depends on the kind of stock compensation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will go through various types of those options in terms of what to do in those scenarios.
Right. We'll do a explanation, deep dive on each of the stock compensation and do a Q&A in the end.
Okay. And it will be in Chinese.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So that's really, really good. So for Chinese speaking population out there, if this is something that you are wondering, then it's best to look out for that seminar. And you said February 21st at 3 o'clock Pacific time.
Yes.
Okay. And in terms of if people want to search, you already gave your phone number, but if somebody wants to search on LinkedIn, it's just look for CPA EMILYTSAI. Is that the best way to search you?
That's correct. Emily Tai, CPA.
Okay, awesome. And any final words?
I want to advise everybody that tax advisories is not just a once-a-year transaction. It's really a continuous journey toward the financial freedom and well-being. Thank you so much.
Very well said. Thank you for your time today, Emily. And listeners, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. This will be available on our website, businessbythebay.live, and we will also be back next week with another conversation. Until then, take care.